Namaste, welcome to Birdistan. I am Kirti and this is Max, and both of us are going to discuss Asian green bee eater today. Asian green bee eater used to be called little green bee eater earlier.
Until 2021.
Yes, until 2021. That is accurate by Max. And now, why are the split, Max?
Well, because it turned out that the three subspecies that they should be don't breed with each other.
Yes.
A species basically any living organism which breeds with one another in its own kind, but looks like they did not see there are three different species now.
True.
The African green bee eater, Arabian green bee eater, and Indian green bee eater. So there are three different green bee eaters now.
So there are three different species out of one species that was decided in the year 2021. So it is very recent. So those of you who have been knowing it as a little green bee eater can make a small correction as Asian green bee eater now, because these green bee eaters have been separated from the other two.
Now you don't find it in Africa and Arabia and Southeast Asia. Now you just find it in Southeast Asia, and this one of our viewers is from Africa or Arabia.
True. How do we identify the Asian green bee eater?
They've got a golden rufous crown. They are predominantly green, and their cheek is green and the face, and they've got crimson red eyes, and the supercilium is a fine black.
Supercilium is a band around the eyes.
It's a fine line which is black in color, and they have got a medium length tail, and they are only green mainly. Everything, rump and wings, nape, everything is green.
True.
And the legs are black, and their legs are weak because the three toes are joined at one place.
They also have elongated tail,
which measures 2 inches in males and females.
Yes, 2 inches longer than the rest of the body. The tail is there, which you can see as a distinctive feature in birds. There are many varieties, many varieties of green bee eaters, and Asian green bee eater is only known by its difference in color combination, how it looks. Green bee eaters are great to look at. They also only are found during morning hours as well as evening hours.
What is the size of the bird now?
The size of the bird is between 16 to 18 centimeters max.
Weight?
And the weight would be around 25 to 30 grams.
Wingspan?
Wingspan, I have not read about it. I have not found it during my research, so I'm not sure about it.
Flight speed?
Flight speed would be 26 miles per hour.
You know that?
Yes, I do know that.
How about kilometers per hour? Something more familiar with Indian people.
Kilometers, I will have to convert that then. So 1.6 kilometers is 1 mile. So according to that, one can calculate. Let me, I don't know if I can do that straight. 26 miles per hour, so that would be around, I'm not able to do it right now, I'm sorry.
So, Kirti, how much does the bird measure in length?
Yes, it's not that big in size, but it is between 16 to 18 centimeters.
How much does it weigh?
The weight of the bird is pretty light. It's
in grams.
It's between 15 to 25 grams.
How much is the lifespan of this bird?
Lifespan is pretty good as well. It's 12 to 18 years.
How about how fast it flies in kilometers, of course?
In kilometers, it would be approximately 40 kilometers per hour, and to be precise, more precise, it's 26 miles per hour.
If our audience know.
Also, the wingspan of the bird is between 29 centimeters to 49 centimeters. And the bird looks different when you see it from down while it is in flight. Do you know that? The bird looks green and brown with black color edges around its wings.
How about what are the sounds it makes?
Oh, it has got nice nasal sound, which is like tree, 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 soft sound, and mostly it makes the sound or the call while it is in flight.
How about alarm call?
Alarm call, I'm not too sure. I think that also is tree, 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 tree.
Is that it?
Yes.
based on what you know, where all do you find it? They say that it's found in the plains of the Himalayas, 5,000 to 600 feet up on the Himalayas.
5,000 to 600, 5,000.
6,000 feet up in the Himalayas, you can find them.
Yes.
And they're found all over the Indian subcontinent, Vietnam and Pakistan, all over Indian subcontinent. You cannot deny the fact. There's no place where you cannot find it in India now.
You're right. Asian green bee-eaters are found all over India, all across India and the subcontinent.
People these days think that often mistake the Asian green bee-eater to still be a little green bee-eater, thinking it's even found in Africa and Eurasia, but it isn't.
No, they are two different species of it. Now that we know, they are officially segregated. That way, bee-eaters, green bee-eaters are found in Asia, Africa and Eurasia. All these three.
Eurasia is Europe
parts.
and Asia combined.
So they all these three regions, and Asian green bee-eaters are found all around India. Whether you talk about Maharashtra, the open grasslands of Maharashtra, to Madhya Pradesh, to Odisha, to Karnataka, Rajasthan, abundantly they are found. Also in Haryana.
They
and
say
Uttar Pradesh.
lowlands of Southeast Asia. now.
Because then nesting locations have
Sandbanks.
Sandbanks, yes.
They dig a
so
5
they
feet
like
tunnel
to
in
have
a
that kind of
sandbank. Yes.
location where they are found, where they can nest easily. So they generally like where either sand is there or mud is there, so that they can make there, and wetland is there where they can make
You
their
can say
nest.
more or less they can be found in also suburban gardens these days, because they've been started in urban neighborhoods in Southeast Asia nowadays. They're not just limited to lowlands and forests now. They're even found in the cities now.
More than dense jungles, more than rain forests, they like open lands, open agricultural
And
lands.
specifically not suburban gardens, neighborhoods. So, what do you think about the Asian green beetle? Where does it live and what does it eat? How is the nest made?
The diet and the nest habits. Okay. Asian green bee eater, only the name can suggest what exactly the green bee eater will eat. It is mainly dependent on honeybees. 80% of the diet of green bee
People
eater.
suddenly misleaded that the green bee is a weird insect. Green means it's green in color, not that it really eats a green bee.
You're right, Max. When we say green bee eater, people may think it is about a green bee that it is eating. It's the color of the bird that is green, and what it eats is honeybees mainly. So 80% of the Asian green bee eater's diet is honeybees. Apart from that, it can feed on a
Beetles,
variety of
wasps,
insects. Yes.
just bees. Instead of honeybees, like flies, just bees.
Many.
And beetles.
Yeah. And beetles. Even the beetles. Yeah, they don't spare the beetles. as
They're
well.
really big, the beetles.
They also launch themselves in the air when they have to eat.
Yes.
very
They go in a
swiftly.
zigzag manner from a antenna or man-made structure.
Yes,
A zigzag
yes.
manner to catch something.
True. When they are flying, they go in zigzag to eat food while they are flying. So they are pretty good at maintaining their diet and eating enough every single day. It is not known how much exactly they eat. It would be interesting to know how many honeybees or how many insects in a day they can feed on. That would be nice to know, because people who are looking to get rid of insects, if their areas or localities are infested with insects, it would be a wise idea, natural idea to get some green bee eaters around you, so that you can have the invasion of insects.
I think it
less.
is better that you do not bring them manually. I think you should just rather think about living in an area with them. Because when you said that, you made people think that why don't we capture them?
No.
I think it's better than that people do not bother caging, capturing or bringing them. I think people should instead think out the insect situation themselves instead of thinking about depending on birds to do it. And they could rather go find it instead of them getting it. We do not advise anyone to pet birds, but instead we advise that no birds should be petted ever.
That is
To
also
stop the animal and wildlife smuggling industry locally.
I know how it affects you, Max, when you listen to all these instances of how birds are being caged and sold every single day. It hurts us all when we listen to such things. But green bee eaters can definitely be a help in reducing the number of insects, unwanted insects, in any locality if their population is good, because they are great predators for insects.
But otherwise, I think it would be beekeepers don't hate them.
Yes, of course. Yes, wherever honeybee farms are there, apis culture is going on, there the Asian green bee eaters or any other green bee eater would be a menace, because they would take a huge chunk of the bees that were required to do
Because
the
if
jobs.
80% of the diet is that, and also they live in big flocks.
They do.
So that
like 30 to 300 as well. at
So
times.
that could do a very massive damage to the overall growth of the industry.
Absolutely.
It would and be a great, massive loss which couldn't be covered for. So it's not that
Yes.
honeybees reproduce at a very large scale.
No, they
also
don't, yeah.
have a slow reproduction. Like let's say a few hundred eggs.
Yes.
But if they are going to be 30 to 300, it would be thousands every day taken.
Thousands every day
With
eaten by green bee
only
eaters.
commercial farms having at tens of thousands is a very big number to take.
Pretty big, yes. You're right about that, Max. Okay, Max, let's discuss about the nesting habits of the Asian green bee eater, breeding season, as well as their parenting patterns.
The breeding season is March to June, while nesting season is May to June.
Yes, during May
They lay
and June
3
they
to
make.
8 eggs. The nest is made in a sandbank. They dig a 5 feet tunnel. The 5 feet tunnel is also dug with the help of helpers.
Yeah, other green bee eaters also tend to
in
help
the
one
apostle
another.
bird and babblers, it's seen very commonly. You can find a lot of babblers in India. Apostle bird may not be found in India, but they all work in communities just to help one breeding pair for their nest incubation and feeding. Here it's only nest construction, not about what happens when the eggs hatch.
At a time, they can also lay 3 to 8 eggs.
As I said.
Yeah, and it takes about 14 days or so for incubation. Yeah, and the nestlings remain in the nest for up to 31 days, between 22 to 31 days.
That's a very long time for such a tiny bird.
It
which
is
doesn't
a
live
long time.
That long.
But I guess they have a lot of space in those burrows that they make. Their burrows can be, from the front they look small. They are 2 to 3 feet deep like that, straight, and then inside they take a turn and make about 5 feet long, literally 5 feet long burrows, and in there they remain for the entire period when the
Yes.
breeding is
You
going
could
on.
easily fit a human in that.
Almost
almost
it would be
adult
narrow.
human.
It would be narrow.
But you could still fit something in it at least.
Yeah, narrow and long stick or something. Of course, you can fit in there. But for a human, it would have
But
to be
it's
quite
really
broad.
big for a bird,
For
5
a-
feet
yeah,
tunnel.
yeah, it's definitely very, very big for a bird to have 5 feet long tunnel inside. As you said, other birds also help out in making that. So you can see what a big task it is for them to just do the nesting part. But I guess it must be not that difficult because you're doing it in sandbanks and mud banks. In India, it is mainly seen in sandbanks, and wherever we have sandbanks all over India,
The
they would be
sandbanks
there.
must be looking interesting.
With holes all over.
Yes,
you know?
holes and a lot of activity going on of bee eaters flying.
Coming and going all the time. While the female does the incubation part, most of it, the male brings the food and gives it to the female. It goes like that. So they have a nice combination. Help.
Same like the Indian grey hornbill. The male only does feeding, while the female will live inside a sealed tree hollow, which is sealed with excreta and saliva and wood pellets.
We shall do the Indian grey hornbill as well. They are also
Yes.
interesting birds to cover. So one of these days we should also make Indian grey hornbill video as well, where we can discuss in detail about their nesting behavior, breeding season, etc. Because it's very interesting to know about them too. So this is the behavior of nesting, breeding, and do you know these birds are not known to have any courtship or mating rituals.
In most species, Indian species especially, it's all about industrialization. How Vadi is a our parents for taking care of the young, not instead about how beautiful they look, about courtship. Like the Indian peafowl or the peacock commonly known the male is not as good as a parent, as good as a dancer. It only cares about genetic, not about care.
So it just doesn't care for its
Yes.
young ones. That's sad. Also, do you know the interesting fact about green bee eaters, Asian green bee eaters, is that they are born killers. As in, they are not trained to seek food or how to hunt for bees, but they automatically born with the instinct to kill
Well,
and eat.
there are only birds have only two lobes in the brain, with some birds being very intelligent. Crows have a brain which is the size of a chimpanzee, so that now you already know is a lot for a
Much
bird.
smarter.
But normally birds have two lobes in it, one for vision, one for instinct, so it's inbuilt for them to know how to hunt, make the sound, everything else.
True.
Only nest building is done by their own knowledge.
Yes, yes. So to feed, the young ones don't have to be taught.
Also, the parents are known to predict human behavior and try to act
Oh
accordingly.
yeah. This is one of the unique features of green bee eaters, Asian green bee eaters, is they instinctively know when there is danger around them. So their awareness about danger is very close to humans. So this is something unique. about them.
Photography must be hard if you go to these sandbanks.
Because they would like to remain safe, and they would want to avoid any possible danger coming close to them. So they have instinctive survival set of skill set, where they try to avoid any danger by preempting it instead of being naive to it. Like pigeons and all, they are not that smart to sense any
In
sort
fact,
of danger.
a pigeon just laid an egg on a pot of mud which had a plant which had died in it, so it was just a pot of mud, and it just laid the egg just like that without making nest to put in stick, just an egg in the mud on inside a plastic bowl.
So they can be that careless, but not the green bee eaters. Max, do you know who are the possible threats to Asian green bee eaters?
The possible threats are raptors.
Raptors. So all kites, eagles, etc. can be a threat. to them.
Yes, but it's not a massive threat. All birds actually who are prey birds are actually
Birds of prey.
threatened by birds of prey and raptors. It's not that they are not threatened, so it's not an exceptional threat which is causing a decline.
Okay, okay. Anyway, their population is not seen to be declining at an alarming rate. In fact, they are in least concern as of now. And some of the most interesting things about Asian green bee eaters is they are monogamous. So they partner with one partner for the rest of their life. And one of the best things, if you do happen to sight green bee eaters, Asian green bee eaters, you should look for them when they are dust bathing. It is one of the spectacular sights you will have when you see them dust bathing. Also, some unique habits that they have is during the morning hours, when it is also the feeding hours, between 7 to 8 a.m. you can generally spot them, and then evenings, post 4, early evening you can see them. So morning hours, even though it's supposed to be their feeding hour, they like to be lazing around. So they are pretty lazy, and because of that, many people are not able to spot them because of their lazy attitude to start the day. So many of them roost together on wires in the urban gardens, etc. On electric wires. They sit together, 4 or 5 of them, and it's an amazing thing to see. If you happen to photograph one, that would be something that you have really achieved. So these are some of the most interesting things about Asian green bee eaters.